Imagine opening your eyes in the middle of the ocean. Nothing but blue water in every direction. No land, no boats, no planes, only the burning sun above you and a small wooden boat that isn't even supposed to keep you alive. Now imagine this. You're only 16 years old, and you're about to survive 49 days alone with no food, no water, and no one coming to save you. This is the unbelievable true story of the boy who refused to die. His name was Adrian, a teenager from a small coastal village. He wasn't rich, he wasn't famous, and he wasn't some trained survival expert. He was just a kid who dreamed of helping his family by working as a fisherman. Every morning, he would wake up before the sun, rub the sleep from his eyes, and step into an old wooden canoe tied together with ropes his father had repaired 100 times. But one morning, everything went wrong. The sky looked normal, the waves were calm, and Adrian thought it would be an easy fishing day. He pushed his tiny boat out into the sea, just a few kilometers from the shore, but the ocean had different plans. The wind changed, the clouds darkened, and out of nowhere a violent current grabbed his boat like a toy and began dragging it away from land. Adrian tried everything, rowing, shouting, praying, but the ocean didn't care. Within minutes, the coastline he knew his entire life became smaller, then disappeared, then was gone completely. He was officially lost at sea.
Hours passed, then a day, then the night came. And night at sea is not what you think. There are no lights, no sound except the crashing waves, just blackness, alive, endless, terrifying. Adrian curled into a ball at the bottom of the boat, shaking, crying, trying not to panic. He had no food, no drinking water, and his boat was drifting farther and farther into the open ocean. By the second day, the hunger hit him so hard he could barely move. He ripped open his storage box, only to find a few tiny fish, some soggy crackers, and a bottle of Coca-Cola. That was it. He laughed at the absurdity. This is what I'm going to survive on? But a moment later, the fear returned. He knew this wasn't a battle against hunger. It was a battle against time. By the fourth day, the sun had burned his skin so much that he could peel it off. His lips cracked open and bled. His tongue felt like sandpaper. The Coca-Cola only made the thirst worse. He whispered to himself, "I can't die, not like this." Then hunger forced him to do something he never imagined. He began catching fish with his bare hands, little ones you'd normally toss away, but to him, they were life. He ate them raw, the blood, the guts, the bones, everything. He gagged every time, but he kept going, because survival doesn't care about comfort, only instinct. But the real danger wasn't food, it was water. A human can't survive long without drinking water, and the sea around him, pure poison. Drink it, and your organs shut down. So he made a decision that would change everything. He stretched out his shirt during a night to collect dew, just tiny drops. Every morning, he squeezed it into his mouth. It barely helped, but it kept him conscious. The days blended together. Time disappeared. He began hallucinating, seeing his mother calling him from the shore, hearing his father's voice, imagining rescue boats that weren't real. He talked to himself. He laughed alone. He cried alone, but he refused to give up. By day 20, his body was almost unrecognizable, ribs sticking out, eyes sunken, legs swelling from sitting in the same cramped position for weeks. Sharks began circling his boat. One night, a shark bumped the side so hard the boat almost flipped. Adrian froze, shaking, praying it would go away. He knew if he fell in, there would be no body left to find. But the ocean wasn't done torturing him. A storm hit, not a normal one, a violent, monstrous wall of wind and rain that swallowed his entire world. Waves as tall as buildings crashed against his tiny boat, smashing it, spinning it, lifting it into the air. Adrian held on to the sides and screamed as lightning lit the sky. He was sure this was the end.
He whispered, "Please, not now, not after all this." But somehow, some impossible way, the storm passed, leaving him alive and the boat barely floating. He lay there for hours, shaking, exhausted, but breathing. Day 30. He was so weak he could barely sit up. He prayed more than he ever had in his life. He begged for a ship, a plane, anything, but the ocean stayed silent. By day 40, he accepted a truth no one at 16 should ever feel. He might die alone. He thought of his mother, his father, his brothers. He wondered if they had already given up looking for him. He looked at the sky and whispered, "If I die, let them know I tried." But on day 49, everything changed. Adrian woke up to a strange sound, distant, mechanical. He sat up slowly, dizzy, half delirious. He squinted at the horizon. Was it real or another hallucination? Then he saw it, a giant ship cutting through the ocean. Adrian used the last energy he had, literally the last drops of life, to wave his arms wildly. He screamed with a voice that barely existed. The ship didn't see him. It kept moving. His heart shattered, until suddenly it slowed. Someone on the deck had spotted movement, a strange shape in the water, a boat, a boy, a miracle. The ship turned. Crew members rushed to the edge, shouting. They lowered a ladder. Adrian tried to stand, but his legs collapsed. The crew jumped into the water, grabbed him, and hauled him onto the deck. The moment his body touched the metal floor, he whispered one sentence before passing out. "Thank you. I'm alive." He had survived 49 days lost at sea. Doctors said it was impossible. His body was seconds away from shutting down. His survival was called one of the greatest displays of human willpower ever recorded. When he returned home, his mother collapsed into tears and held him like he was 6 years old again. The people in his village looked at him like a ghost who walked back from death. But Adrian only said this: "I didn't survive because I was strong. I survived because I refused to stop fighting." And that is the power of a human who has nothing left except the will to live.